It is an escape, for sure. I think that's the whole brain to paper idea for me, is I don't think about what I'm gonna do, I just do it. It's one of the few things I don't have to abide by anybody's rules, and I just do it. And that's what I like about it. As a kid, I was always drawing on everything I could find, including tops of desks and things like that, places I shouldn't be. As I got older, I kind of fell away from it. My mid-20s, I didn't have much going on. I was living in a studio apartment. I was drinking a lot. I was going in and out of bars, and one day I was leaving a bar, and I just got a moment of clarity. I went into Walgreens and I bought a poster board and a bunch of Crayola markers. And I just went home, and like for 6 months, I just started working on poster board with just these cheap markers, and it ended up being a really cool thing and a frameable piece, and it just drove me. After that, I just started pumping them out, and I hadn't stopped. That was about 25 years ago now. Like I said, I do brain to paper. I heard that term a long time ago, and I've adopted that, because I'll just take a blank sheet of paper and I'll just start drawing maybe a circle. Maybe I'll start drawing, just start scribbling, and then piece it together. But usually starts with a circle or a face, and then another face, and then just keep it rolling. So I think it's therapeutic for me. I just pretty much just empty everything onto that paper without even thinking about it, as opposed to having a model or looking at a picture. I just like to just work that way. You know, I went through a long period of time where I would just draw. I would just take a marker, just a Sharpie, and I would just draw. And then in recent times, I started sketching things out first. I started working with the pencil, drawing it completely in pencil, and then going over it again with ink, and then coloring it in, and then usually going over it again with ink, and then adding the detail to it. So the process sometimes varies. If I'm doing something, a big piece in all ink, I get bored. I get bored, so then I'll start adding detail long before, in my mind, it's actually necessary. I'm like, all right, I should really stick to my process, but I just get bored and I'll start hitting it up with some detail and then draw the next section and do that. Actually, one I'm working on now, it's just so big and my mind was so fried halfway through it that I just said, all right, I gotta start doing something else. Same thing with the color. If I'm working on a big piece in ink, like, all right, I'll just have one face in color just to give me some perspective about where I'm heading. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just on an abyss of, I feel if I'm bored, how is the viewer gonna see this piece? Which is something, another thing that I never gave much thought to. I was an older artist, is I always was just drawing for me. But now I appreciate if I don't get the feedback from the people that are looking at it. I mean, is it really, what is it then? What if I need that for me, for my ego, and I need it just for me to keep going and to know that I connect with people. So by people appreciating it, it's done me a huge solid, because it just keeps me going, and I love that input. You know what, I got a starting point, and it's usually, I'm thinking about it now, it's usually in the bottom corner or somewhere off to the left in case I want to do something with that middle series, and then just sort of go from there. I don't look at it till I'm probably about, maybe have an eighth of it done, and then I'll step back and be like, all right, where am I going with this? Sometimes it turns out to be an actual scene where I do, one of my most popular pieces is smokestacks with giant faces as mutant pollutant, so the pollution coming out of it is the faces. And that didn't come up until I had almost a whole sheet full of faces. And then I'm like, all right. And then it's my most important piece, because it ended up being, it's Whiting, Indiana. It's where I spent the first few years of my life looking at this scene of these smokestacks spewing out this pollution. I want people, I don't want them to be anything except whatever it is. If they feel anything, I've done my job. People are moved in any way, good or bad. I've had people say, I don't know how to use color. I'm like, cool, you thought about it. You know what I mean? You thought about what I did. I love the people that say, man, I could look at your work for hours. And those are the people I think, you get me, man, you get me. This somehow filled that void that was always missing. And I asked myself, well, what's my origin story? What did I really don't have one, except that I just do it and I can't stop doing it, and I don't know why. It's funny to think about.